Hey, this is Henry McEachern with the henrym Realty team here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and welcome to my video blog. First, before I get started, I want to make sure I draw your attention to the two links below my video box here, and that is if you're buying or selling a home, click on the appropriate link below for more information. Now today, I've got a special guest, and this is Lourdes Best with Gateway Bank Mortgage, and welcome, Lourdes.
Thank you so much for having me.
She's handled quite a few loans for our clients and does a great job. And I just wanted to bring her on so she could teach you or help educate you a little bit more about what's going on in the mortgage market today. So let's just get started about what's happening with today's interest rates.
Well, Henry, the market is still very favorable for buyers. Daily, we see little fluctuations here and there. Of course, whenever there are job reports or just different economic reports, sometimes the rates will flutter a little bit, but we're still seeing all-time low rates.
Exactly.
So it's still a very favorable market in that regard for buyers.
So the threats that we've heard in the marketplace about the interest rates rising, you know, they've been predicting last year and this year, really haven't materialized yet to any great extent, correct?
We haven't seen any grand changes where, you know, we're still in the high threes and low fours, and I feel that, you know, that's still a very favorable market.
Absolutely. Now tell me, a lot of people still telling me, are they lending money? Can you get money, you know, from lenders? And of course, I'll tell you, you sure can, as long as you can prove that you can pay the loan back. And so go into a little detail as far as have things changed somewhat in documentation or things like that for getting a loan?
Well, certainly if somebody hasn't gotten a home loan in the past, say 3 to 5 years, they're going to experience a different process.
Okay.
So in today's market, we're looking at collecting upfront information, 2 years tax returns, W-2s, 1099s, pay stubs. But certainly in my mind, that doesn't seem unreasonable to request that information to extend a loan to someone.
That's right.
The days of no doc, low doc, stated income, stated asset, they kind of got us into a little bit of hot water.
Yeah.
And so
It's better they've gone away, really.
in many regards, yes. Certainly there were people out there that were good candidates for that type of product, but in today's world, everybody wants to be sure that a person who's getting into a home loan can afford that home loan.
Very good. Very good. So tell me, ability to get low down payment loans. You know, I know there's some products for 0% down. We have a lot of first-time home buyers that are getting either a USDA loan or maybe they're a veteran and have had to get a VA loan.
Certainly.
So what about a conventional person who really hasn't had a chance to save up a lot of money yet, you know, due to either, you know, new job or just a new person getting ready to buy their first home, haven't been able to save up but wants to do a conventional loan? What kind of down payments are they allowing now in that regard?
So recently there is a 3% down conventional program that is very similar to the FHA program that people might be a little more familiar with, which requires 3.5% down. It's a great program. There's also the My Community 97, which offers some advantages for community partners such as police officers, firefighters, healthcare workers. That particular product offers reduced mortgage insurance rates, which is quite attractive.
Absolutely.
But quite frankly, that conventional loan product is very attractive because it still allows you to eliminate PMI where FHA and today's guidelines does not.
Gotcha. So that's an added expense that goes along with getting a lower down payment loan.
Absolutely, but at least you have the benefit of knowing that as the value of your home increases, you can request that PMI to be removed, where in an FHA loan you cannot. Now, certainly each program has its advantages and is the right fit for a certain borrower. Okay,
so on the flip side of folks who are going to be borrowing more money, let's say they go over the jumbo loan rate right now is at what point? Do you go into what's called a jumbo loan?
Anything over 417.
So if you're going to borrow over $417,000, that's considered a jumbo loan.
That's right.
Now, is that, we have beach properties here, things like that. Is that an easy loan to get right now? And as far as the interest rates, is that much different in interest rates for a loan that size?
You know, Henry, there are days that the rates are right there with the standard conventional rate. There are other days where the rate might be about a quarter point higher, not significantly higher.
Okay.
As far as qualifying for a jumbo loan, again, it's a documentation process.
Okay.
We're going to want to see that that's a solid borrower. The down payment requirements are a little more stringent for a jumbo loan.
They're going to need more money out of the pocket into the project. Now,
ideally, they're going to be putting 20% down. There's a few programs out there that offer a little bit lower at 10%, but the mortgage insurance is quite high, and in my opinion, not the most favorable program.
Okay. Now, I don't want to put you out there too much on the spot, but does your bank, I know we've had to deal with some clients who bought some beach properties or something that's a little higher end price point, and do you have is that something that you have to get involved in a portfolio loan, or that's something you take in-house and actually do your own lending?
That's a very good point, Henry, because Gateway Bank is one of the few lenders in our local market that offers a portfolio product, and it's really quite attractive. It's a fantastic product for that strong borrower that perhaps just doesn't fit the Fannie Freddie mold.
Okay.
And so, as you know, because we've had clients that we've helped with this program, it's really worked wonders for us. Now, granted, it is for a strong buyer.
Absolutely.
Borrower.
A lot of proof goes into making sure that they're a solid borrower for that.
Sure.
Okay. Very good. So that's just great to know. Now, one other thing is real important as far as everybody getting ready to buy a home. You know, it's very important to make sure you're already pre-approved or have a pre-approval letter. Some people call it pre-qualification. Some people say pre-approval. What is there a difference in that? And because I know you guys do offer, to do a true pre-approval where you've actually gone in front of the underwriter, correct?
Correct.
So just explain a little bit about the differences between the two.
Well, ideally, it would be great if before anyone is going out there looking for a home and getting too excited, that they start the process on the right foot. If they're doing that, it just makes the entire experience so much smoother, just more enjoyable for the buyer as well as for you as an agent.
Absolutely.
We want people to have the right expectations of what their affordability range is.
Okay.
With that said, we have an authorized buyer program where we can actually underwrite our prospective buyer, put them through the income, asset, credit verifications, and so that part of their credit profile will be underwritten, and the only thing then left to do is to identify a property and then get an appraisal and just make sure that the property meets proper guidelines.
That's great. Yeah, that's good. Good deal. Okay, so the first step, if someone says, hey, I want to get a loan, I need to get a loan right now, Lourdes, so what do we need to do? So what happens? They call you up, or do they, is it a phone call that you can take care of getting approved or getting the application started, or do they need to come in to see you? What's the best? Well,
we want to be as convenient as we can possibly be for our clients. So certainly a good first step would be a phone call. From that point, I like to send my prospective borrowers a checklist so they can gather the documentation that's going to be needed, not only for the pre-qualification, but for the whole loan process. And then certainly we want to look at their credit and get some information regarding what their income is and what kind of assets they have to work with. And then from that point, we can just take it from there, and we'll decide whether we need to do a pre-qualification or go through the whole authorized buyer program.
Okay,
might be appropriate.
Very good. And finally, I just want to talk real quick about credit scores, because I know that affects interest rates. So tell me a little bit about that as far as, what's considered a great credit score, what's going to give you the best rate versus if you step down from that, what difference that would make in the interest rate.
Certainly. So anytime we have a buyer who has credit scores north of 740, they're in the golden range.
Okay. Very good.
That's very
So
important.
above 740 is kind of the threshold of, hey, that's a great,
That's top
great bar,
tier.
yes, okay.
That is top tier. At the point that you're stepping down into 720, 700, and getting into the 600s, that significantly impacts your rate.
Okay.
And it also, having the higher credit scores opens the door for certain programs that, you know, in other cases may not be available.
Okay. So is there a minimum right now? Is there a certain minimum that you have to have to get a loan? What's your minimum credit score typically that you would have to be in at to get a loan? Like, is it a certain 620 or 640 or?
On the conventional side, a 620 is the minimum we like to see. And certainly we like to see that there's some other compensating factors, for instance, some savings.
Now, Gateway, just so folks know what type of bank you are, you're since you do the portfolio, you do some of your own lending as well. So you're a full mortgage lender.
Correct. We are a mortgage banker, and we are affiliated with Gateway Bank.
Very good.
So we are an FDIC institution.
Good deal.
That obviously gives us a little bit of ability in some respects. For instance,
to do some different types of loans.
Yeah, like the Federal Home Loan Bank program. We're able to do it because we are a bank.
Very good. Well, I just want to thank you again for being here today to help educate my folks more about loans and what's going on in the market. And I hope to have you back sometime soon.
Thanks for having me, Henry.
You bet. And guys, thanks so much for watching our video blog. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home or know someone who is, please have them call or email me today. Thanks again and have a great day.